How to compare and contrast. Hi there. Today we're going to learn all about the words compare and contrast and why they are important words to know. We'll also be learning what a Venn diagram is and how it's a helpful tool when comparing and contrasting. The word compare means to find ways that two things are the same as each other, like how reading and math are both subjects in school. The word contrast means to find ways that two things are different from each other, like how you mostly use letters in reading, but mostly numbers in math. A Venn diagram is just a way to organize the pieces of information you gathered that are the same and different about two things. Let's do an example. For our example today, we're going to compare and contrast oranges and bananas. First, let's list some things we know about oranges. We know that oranges are a fruit. We also know that oranges need to be peeled before you can eat them. Oranges are round. We drink the juice from oranges. Lastly, the color of oranges is orange. Now, let's list some things we know about bananas. We know that a banana is a fruit. It's yellow. They grow in bunches. You have to peel bananas, and they are not round. Okay, now that we've listed a few things about both oranges and bananas, we need to organize this information we've gathered into a Venn diagram. Venn, V-E-N-N. A Venn diagram sounds fancy, but it's really just a visual way to see what is the same about two things and what is different about those two things. We use Venn diagrams for comparing and contrasting. A Venn diagram has two circles or ovals that overlap a little bit in the middle. This now makes 3 sections of the diagram instead of just 2. Do you see the 3 sections? This first section is where we will put information that is true about only oranges. The third section is where we will put information that is true about only bananas. And the middle piece is where we can put information that is true about both oranges and bananas. So let's get started. Our first piece of information about oranges was that oranges are a fruit. Is that true of only oranges, only bananas, or about both oranges and bananas? Right, both oranges and bananas are fruits. So that means we need to put the piece of information about oranges and bananas being fruits in the middle of the Venn diagram. Do you see how the middle section is part of the orange oval and it's part of the banana oval? Let's organize our other information now. We also said that oranges need to be peeled before you can eat them. Where do you think that information should go? Only about oranges, only about bananas, or both? Great job! It's also true of both oranges and bananas that you have to peel them before you can eat them. Let's put that information in the middle. Next, we said oranges are round. Do you know where that information should go? Wonderful! Only oranges are round, not bananas. So we need to put that information in the first section of the diagram, or the only oranges side. We're doing great. We just need to organize a few more pieces of information into our diagram. What about this one? We drink the juice from oranges. Where does that go? Right, that's also only true about oranges. We don't drink banana juice. And now it's time for our last piece of information we gathered about oranges. They are orange in color. Yep, you knew where that one went too. Now we need to sort the information we gathered about bananas, and then we're all done. We said that both bananas and oranges were fruits, so we already sorted that piece, so we can just cross it off now. We said that bananas are yellow. Do you know where to put that information? Correct. That's only true about bananas, so it needs to go in the Only Bananas section of the Venn diagram. What about the last 3 pieces of information? Can you figure out where those should go? Pause the video if you still need time to think. Right. Only bananas grow in bunches, and only bananas are not round, so those go in this section. But you have to peel both bananas and oranges before you eat them, so that goes in the middle, like we did earlier. We already have it there from when we went through our information about oranges, so we can just cross that off the list. Hooray! That's all the info we gathered. We sorted it correctly into our Venn diagram. Do you think you could sort some information by yourself next time about 2 different topics? The last thing we need to talk about is that the middle section of the Venn diagram, where things that were true about both oranges and bananas went, that's the compare section, because like we said at the beginning of this video, comparing is when you say what is the same about 2 things. The outer parts of the diagram are the contrast sections, because that's where we put things that are different about oranges and bananas. Compare equals same, contrast equals different. One way to remember this is that compare and same both have an M in them. Contrast and different both have an N in them. Compare equals same, contrast equals different. I hope you learned a lot in this video. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.